Hi friends, my name is Millie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to bring you my September TBR. So I'm actually filming this on the 6th of September, so I've already read a couple of books, and what my goal for September is to finish series. I'm kind of doing, in my head I'm calling it like series September, because I'm in the middle of so many series. Like, I don't even know how many, but it's above 40 series that I'm in the middle of. Obviously some of those are just the first of a series that I've read and the sequels aren't out yet, or it's just like the first in a duology, so that it's not too overwhelming, but I am just feeling like I really need to start finishing some series. One of my goals at the start of the year was to have finished at least 15 series by the end of 2024, and I think I've just finished my 10th series, but some of those are series that I've decided not to continue anymore, so it's technically not actually like 10 series that I've even finished. So that's what September is going to be about. And I've actually already been really good in the past 6 days at sticking to this kind of goal I set for myself for the month. My first read of the month was The King of Crows by Libba Bray, and this is the final book in the Diviners series, which was a series I actually started March, maybe? I can't remember exactly when I started it, but I started it earlier this year and fell absolutely in love. I got them in the stunning Fairy Loot editions, because the standard editions, all the covers don't match, and I didn't really like that. So when Fairy Loot announced that they were doing a special edition series like 3 years ago, I bought them, and I only got around to reading them this year, but I'm so glad that I did get the special editions because I absolutely love this series so much. Obviously I'll talk about this more in my September wrap up, but I really enjoyed this final installment in the series, so that was one series I've already finished at the start of this month. And my current read, this is just a dust jacket because I can't bother to go downstairs and get the actual book, but my current read is The Atlas Complex by Olivia Blake, and this is the final book in the Atlas 6 trilogy. I really loved the first book in this series, didn't love the second book, The Atlas Paradox, as much. That kind of fell off, but I'm actually enjoying the Atlas Complex a lot more than I thought that I would, so hopefully I'll end up giving this series a higher rating than I thought I would after finishing the Atlas Paradox. Obviously I talk about those more in my September wrap up, so let's talk about the sequels, finishing series that I want to try and do in September. So the first one, so this wouldn't be finishing the series, but it would just be continuing it, like be getting up to date with it. That is The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Laurie Gilmore. This is the sequel to The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which was kind of like a book talk sensation last year. Very autumnal, so perfect for September as the cold weather starts coming in. And I enjoyed The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, not as much as I thought I was going to. I can't remember what rating I gave it now. Was it like a 4-star? I can't remember. But I feel like I will prefer The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore because obviously this Pumpkin Spice Cafe was a debut, so I'm hoping that kind of the sort of things that were annoying me a little bit with the Pumpkin Spice Cafe will have been ironed out in this one. So in the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, it's a romance, I forgot to say it, this is a romance series, and in the Pumpkin Spice Cafe I felt like it was kind of insta-love. Like, I didn't really feel the tension that I like to feel in a romance book, so I'm hoping that we will get that in The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, because from what I remember of the main couple in this one from the first book is the male love interest has had a crush on the female character for years or something, and I don't really know, I can't remember, but I know that there is a scavenger hunt in this one, and I'm all about that. I love a good scavenger hunt, so having one in a book sounds great. And I am just obsessed with these covers. Like, look at the little cat there. That is so cute. I'm very excited. I'm hoping to really enjoy this. And if I can get up to date on this series this month, then I will be very ready for when the third book comes out. It is like, it's in a couple of months. It's not very long away. And that is The Christmas Tree Farm. I'm very excited for that one. I love a good Christmas romance. So I'm really excited to read this. And of course, with it being autumnal, it's just going to fit the vibes perfectly, you know? The next series that I want to try and finish is the Secret Shanghai series by Chloe Gong with Foul Heart Huntsman. So this is the sequel to Foul Lady Fortune, which I adored. That was a 5-star read for me in, was it 2021, 2022? I can't remember exactly what year I read it, but I loved it, like absolutely adored it. So I'm really hoping to adore the sequel as well. It's pretty chunky. I'm obsessed with this series. I love Chloe Gong so much. Immortal Longings was unfortunately not a win for me. That was a bit of a disappointing read, but I love the Secret Shanghai series. So you have These Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends, which were kind of a duology, and then a kind of companion series started with Foul Lady Fortune. But they're all set in the same world and revolving around kind of the same cast of characters. These are essentially like historical spy fantasy books, so they're really, really fun. I don't quite know how to explain even Foul Lady Fortune without spoiling These Violent Delights, but These Violent Delights was a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and absolutely love that one as well, whereas this one, is it, I believe, an Othello retelling? I am not really up to date on my Shakespeare knowledge, so I couldn't tell you for certain how closely it follows the plot of Othello or how accurate of a retelling or anything like that it is. But I do trust in Chloe Gong with my life. So I'm really excited to read this one, and I really feel like it's going to be a win for me. I really hope it is. Sometimes with series that you love, the last one just never ends up being quite what you expect it or what you want it to be, so here's hoping that doesn't happen with this one. The next sequel that I want to read is part of my ongoing Rick Riordan, Percy Jackson reread that I've been doing for 3 years at this point. So the one that I have to read next is House of Hades. So this is the 4th book in the Heroes of Olympus series. As you can see, I've owned this book for a very long time, so I got this in hardcover when it came out, and it just kind of goes to show you the difference in book prices to nowadays, because look at that. I got this hardcover for $8.99. It's just not possible anymore. So anyway, so the Heroes of Olympus is the 2nd series in the Rick Riordan universe. So obviously you had the Percy Jackson the Olympus series, then you have Heroes of Olympus, and then you've got like Kane Chronicles, Trials of Apollo, Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard. But when I was reading Rick Riordan as a kid, I only ever got to the end of Heroes of Olympus. I never carried on with any of his other series. So when I started collecting his other books, like in 2020 or wherever it was, still don't even own all of them yet, I decided to just reread all of his books. So I reread all the Percy Jackson books, which is my favourite series of all time. Then I started rereading the Heroes of Olympus and I got up to the Mark of Athena, and now I need to read House of Hades. I am waiting for Naya. We're going to do a buddy read of this, and I'm really excited for that. I love this series so much. The Mark of Athena has one of the best cliffhangers ever. I remember being so shocked by that as a kid, and I just think it's so funny, the dedication in House of Hades when he's like, sorry about that last cliffhanger, no not really, haha. I love him. His sense of humour is so funny. And yeah, Percy Jackson is my favourite series of all time. I love Rick Riordan, I love his writing style, I love these characters so much, and I do love this instalment, so I'm very excited to reread this month. The next sequel that I've got is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. So this is the sequel to The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which I read in May, and loved it. Absolutely loved it. I think it was a 4.5-star read for me. I just adored it so much. I was completely addicted to it. The way that I like to describe it is it's basically ACOTAR meets Fourth Wing but with vampires, and it just works. Like, it is really fun, really addictive to read. I was really shook by the ending of The Serpent and the Wings of Night, so I'm really excited to read The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, but I'm intimidated. Like, that is chunky. So this is the sequel. And so it's actually a duology, so once I read this I'll have finished the duology, but there are going to be other books coming out in the same world, so I really need to get to read this one this month before, is it The Songbird and the Heart of Stone? That comes out really soon. It might even be at the end of this month, I can't quite remember. But I'm loving discovering Carissa Broadbent. I really want to read her other series as well. Is it The Daughter of No Worlds? Is that the other one? I've seen a lot of people saying how much they love that one, so hopefully I can get around to reading this and move on to reading more Carissa Broadbent as well. The next sequel that I've got is also the sequel to a duology, and that is The Only Light Left Burning by Eric J. Brown. This is a very, very shiny cover, and this is the sequel to All That's Left in the World, which was a YA dystopian kind of apocalyptic. The story of me reading that book, I was obsessed with the cover of it because it is gorgeous. I don't know if you can see it there. That's the cover of All That's Left in the World. Absolutely stunning. And I picked that up after watching The Last of Us, and oh my god, I love The Last of Us so much, and I was just in need for some more apocalyptic, dystopian, end of the world kind of stories. So I picked up All That's Left in the World and loved it. It was so good. It was so emotional and heart-wrenching. It's set in a world where a disease has killed off like 99% of the population, and you have these two teenage boys who are they're trying to find other people. They're trying to find a community again. So they travel like from I'm not very good at geography, but they travel from like the state of New York or something down to Florida, and along the way they encounter the things that you would encounter in a post-apocalyptic world. They encounter like a zoo that's broken open, like, so there's like a lion running around. There's a group of people who, like men basically, who are trying to take advantage of the whole situation, and it's just a really heartfelt story. There's a lot of pining between the two boys, and I just loved it. When I saw that there was going to be a sequel, I was really excited but also nervous, because I don't necessarily think that All That's Left in the World needed a sequel. I think it functioned really well as a standalone, so I'm intrigued to see what is going to go on in this book. I know that it's kind of to do with how to find a future in this kind of situation you find yourself in where everyone you know has died, but yeah, I just don't know if a sequel was really necessary. So I'm intrigued but slightly nervous, but hopefully I'll love it. The next one that I've got is Dark Star Burning, Ash Falls White by Amelie Wen Zhao. This is the sequel to Song of Silver Flame Like Night, which is an Asian-inspired fantasy, and I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely adored that book. It was top tier. It's basically about all these different gods and stuff in this world, and there's like colonialism, and these two main characters are kind of trying to fight back against these colonialists who've come to take over their world, their country. And it's a really magical book. Like, I really loved the mythology behind all of this story, and so you've got like demon gods and stuff, and it's really intriguing. Like, I really loved it. So this is the second book in a duology, so once I've read this book I'll have finished the series, which I'm really excited about. And I was actually really kindly sent this copy by the publisher, so thank you very much to Harper Voyager for that. In this one they're trying to find this city that vanished when the invaders came, and I'm really intrigued. I'm excited to see where this world is going to go. I'm nervous because I feel like the characters might not survive. It's kind of that kind of epic fantasy where in order for the world to be okay, the people might get sacrificed. So I'm nervous for the characters, but I'm really excited because the author has such a gorgeous writing style. So hopefully this series will be 2 5-star reads. And the final sequel that I've got is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is of course the sequel to Fourth Wing, which, if you don't know what Fourth Wing is, are you living under a rock? Fourth Wing is a adult romantasy with dragons, and completely took the world by storm. So incredibly popular. I read Fourth Wing last year, and I did buy Iron Flame as soon as it came out, but I've just been intimidated to read it. A, because it's chunky. B, because I haven't heard great things about Iron Flame. I know that some people love Iron Flame, think it's better than Fourth Wing. I know that some people think it is not as good. So I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it. Fourth Wing wasn't exactly a all-time favourite for me. It wasn't a 5-star read, but I did enjoy it a lot. I really liked the dragons in it. I feel like it was a good time. So hopefully I'll like Iron Flame. Apparently it is a lot more of a political fantasy almost. So, and I really like political fantasies. I really like heavy world building. So hopefully I'll like that in this book. I just want there to be lots of dragons. But obviously I need to try and read this before the sequel comes out. The third book in the series, Onyx Storm. That is coming out in January and I want to be up to date before that comes out. Hopefully I'll be able to be. This sequel follows on from rather a big plot twist at the end of Fourth Wing, and I'm nervous for what it's going to do to the romance of the series. I feel like, especially because considering that this series is meant to be like 7 books or something by the time it's finished, I'm nervous that the main romance in it is not gonna last that long, because why would you have them get together in the first book if there's going to be 6 more books after that? Like, I feel like it's all gonna change. Yeah, I know absolutely nothing about Iron Flame, so please don't spoil anything for me in the comments. If you have read it, hopefully I'll love it. Hopefully I'll really enjoy it. Okay, so this is the end of my September TBR. I'm going to try and lift up all of the books that I picked, but because they were really chunky, it's a really heavy stack, so I'm not sure I'll be able to do it. But this is my September TBR. So this is like, I don't know, over 3,000 pages worth. Hopefully I'll be able to get to all of them. I'm hoping to be able to just finish a lot of series, as I said. With these, it would mean that I've like finished 5 series and caught up on another 2. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. Hopefully I'll be able to finish more series as well this month. I just really want to try and knock series out, like complete them, so that when it comes to picking my my TBR for next year, but also for, you know, filming my wrap-ups at the end of the year, etc., I can feel a sense of accomplishment. If I don't finish series, I don't feel like I've accomplished a lot. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like that doesn't really make any sense, but hopefully it does, and you understand what I mean. Like, finishing series just feels like such an achievement, so I really want to be able to finish as many as I can this month, and then, you know, be able to start new series without feeling guilty about not finishing other ones. And also just so that I can actually remember what's going on. You know, if I leave like years between installments of a series, I'm not going to remember, and then I'm going to have to reread the first book, and it's just not a good idea. So that is my September TBR. Let me know what books are on your September TBR. Are you doing any kind of special challenge in September like I'm doing? Are you reading series? Are you doing Sapphic September? Let me know. If you'd like to follow me on my Goodreads or my Bookstagram, the link will be down below in the description. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you wanna. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye!